Welcome back to the channel, riders. We're going to work on Mighty Mouse here a little bit today. No, we're not getting into the turbo build yet, although you can see I have the bed off because I've been kind of planning, looking, seeing where I can fit stuff, which, by the way, I think that turbo is going to fit very nicely right here where this catalytic converter is. You chop that out, put the turbo right there. She'll be lined up and probably a sweet spot for it. But anyway, before we get into the turbo build, again, Raging Rhino, we're still waiting on the parts to get here. They are shipped, so that should be very, very soon they get here. We can get that guy finished up. But one thing I want to do, before I do the turbo, is install these EPI clutch springs, these wet clutch springs, to see if that makes a difference with the big old 32s, which we still have yet to put on, but we'll get them on once we get the springs in. So, we're going to just have to deal with poor lighting and no workbench, because we're going to have to go ahead and tear into the 500 here so we can adjust or put those new springs in. Now this is actually a pretty involved upgrade. It's going to take a lot more than just taking the old ones out and putting them in, because just getting to them is going to be a big chore. What we're going to have to do is we're going to have to jack up the front end and actually take the front diff loose. That way we can disengage the front drive shaft from the motor, because the wet clutch, you guys will be able to see better once I get into it. It is in the front. As you can see, the axle, or the drive shaft, excuse me, not the axle, runs in here, which is going to have to be removed so we can take the front case cover off, or the side, or I guess it depends your orientation of the motor. Anyway, that shaft, drive shaft, is going to come out to get that off. So it means we're going to have to drain our front diff and completely remove it out of the way to get the drive shaft out of the way, which is no big deal anyway, because as you can see here, or not see, I have a bad oil seal that is leaking oil once again, and the fluid that's coming out of it is a nice pearly white color, so I've definitely gotten water in there, because obviously if I'm leaking oil out, water is getting in, so we got to drain that, flush it, clean it up anyway. So I have to jack it up, remove front axles, remove the diff, and of course we're going to have to take our seats out, get all the plastic out so we can get to the front of the motor. And once we get there, we will be able to replace our wet clutch springs. So you've seen me take the seats out and the diff apart in videos in the past, so I won't bore you there. Let's just go ahead and cut to everything removed, getting ready to tear into the engine. Alright, we've made some progress here. As you can see, we've got a lot of the body panels, or the inside panels, off. I did actually, believe it or not, clean it, hose her off, so she's somewhat nice to work on. However, I am awful tired of working off of this light, since I can't get in there to the hillbilly garage where I have my good lights. Plus, the poor lighting doesn't make for good video making. So before I go any farther on this, I did make a trip to Lowe's. Got some lights here. We're going to go ahead and put a few more up here before we go any farther to get some better lighting, because again, the Rhino parts are on their way. They're still not here yet, and I'm probably can get the wet clutch springs in before the stuff comes in to start working on that again. So let's throw some lights up real quick, and then we'll get back into cracking on this guy. Probably go ahead and take, I think, these bars here, once I get this stuff off here, these will actually unbolt and come clear out, so we should have unrestricted access right into our mighty tiny little 475cc Honda power plant. So I'm gonna find a ladder and get some lights up. Alright, lights are installed, so let's see how much of improvement we have over this guy shining compared to that. Woo! Much better. Well, I would say this is some much improved lighting, and now we don't have to wait till Raging Rhino's finished and out of there before we can start working on Mighty Mouse, because I got plenty of light. So the next thing we're going to do is we're going to get this off, if this will come off here. We'll drain the oil, drain the front diff, get it moved out of the way, so that we can take this cover off and we can change our wet clutch gears, which are right in behind this. In fact, this circle right here is right where your wet clutch is. Alright, we're ready to move this whole section of cage. Pretty much all it was a bunch of 12mm bolts. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. And then you have a 10mm here that holds this, and another 12mm under here that holds this line on. Which, what is that? Your brake, got your emergency brake cable. And I do believe that she's all free. And of course I had my vent line routed through here, and same with my rear diff vent line I had through here, so I had to undo that and get it out of the way. But this should now come out, so let's see if she does. Don't think I'm missing anything. Oh, wait a minute. There is some cables I missed. Okay, we got some wiring harness cables that's fastened right here. I forgot. See them guys right here to power our fuel pump. So we got to get those out of there. There's one. Careful not to hurt the wires or smash my fingers. To be honest with you, I'd rather smash my fingers than pinch a wire and cut it and have to replace the whole stinking wiring harness. Oh, that guy's going to be a stubborn one. Actually, I should be able to take this and turn this a little bit, provided everything else is free and clear. Enough to look at that. Actually, let's just do this. Let's unplug her, and then we should have all kinds of room. There we go. If I smack you guys. There. Now we can get at them. Because it doesn't help, they're full of mud in there either. It's probably got them glued in place. Oh, don't go anywhere. Alright. Not that little bit of a pain's in the way. We can remove the whole seat support frame, whatever, section. That gives us really good access. What do we got? I'll probably go ahead and remove the parking brake mount here. Looks like I can probably just unbolt it from the other side. And of course we got our main wiring harness there attached to it. That'll unhook right there. Take these two bolts out. I should be able to take this and set it over here on the gas tank out of the way. And those look like 12mm as well. Millimeter. I can talk somewhat. Let's unplug the parking brake sensor light thingy majigger. Let's see if I can get this guy popped out of here. Can't get in there. The needle doesn't squeeze that, can I? Oh, maybe I can. Oh, like nothing. Oh, look at the PCM. And that one's in the bottom, so we don't have to take that one out. They're bigger than 12s, aren't they? This one. Oh, I can't get the impact in there. Gotta do it the old-fashioned way. And those are 14s too, not 12s. I guess these bigger bolts here that were on here are 14s as well. So you had 12mm and 14mm to get that seat frame section out of there, not just 12. Make a mental note. Boy, it sure does look like there's plenty of room in here to at least throw a slightly bigger motor in. I guess if the turbocharging doesn't work, you guys can probably guess what my next step's gonna be. If only I knew how to get a hold of a fully built Rhino 700 motor somewhere. That's one long bolt. Oh, geez, do it. Ooh, that guy was in there. Probably glued in there from the mud. I think some of this mud by the color, but still that good Tennessee mud from the trip to the Pioneer Takeover at Ride Royal Blue. Oh, what do we got? A coolant return line on there too. We're gonna have to move. We gotta drain the coolant anyway. Not that it's just held in with one of those push ties, push clip ties, whatever. But in order to get in here, we do have to drain the coolant as well, which I got to make a mental note the next time I'm somewhere to get some to refill it. FYI, if you guys are wanting to know, this right here is your coolant bleeder line. So if you ever have to empty, or if you want to flush it, put new in, or you're low, or if you're overheating, whatever the case may be, this little screw right here is what you want to crack open to bleed your coolant line. Which you don't have to go this far to get to it. You can just take the center, or the plastics off under the seat and get right to that puppy. Alright, let's see if I can get this guy popped out of there. Pop. And now this is free. And she'll just set nice and pretty right there. Alright guys, we pretty much got unabated access now to this guy to take it off to get into our wet clutch. We got one sensor here, another gear shift sensor, or gear shift actuator right there. So, alright. Boy, turbo looks like it should almost fit right there, doesn't it? Alright, I think we're going to go ahead and finish up right there for this video. It's going to be a short video. I'm probably going to break this up into shorter videos. 1, it'll make it easier to watch. 2, it'll make it easier to edit. And 3, it's probably going to make it easier to follow along if I'm in shorter clips so you guys can see here and there instead of having to watch through 20-30 minutes of a video to find some little specific thing. So probably what I'll do off camera is I'm going to go ahead and drain the oil, because you guys have seen my oil change video. Nothing to that, pull the plug. I'm probably going to go ahead as well and pull the front diff, get it out of there. We got to do that again so we can slide our front drive shaft out and get us room for that. Which you guys have also seen me do that on my torque locker install videos. So if you guys need to know how to do that, you can refer to that video. And then the next time I see you guys, we're working on Mighty Mouse. She should be all ready then to unbolt our case, or side of our case here, to get in here to our wet clutch. Hope you guys are enjoying the video. Hope you're looking forward to not only installing these different clutch springs to see how they work, but also getting that turbo slapped on that guy. So thanks for watching, and until next time, keep on riding.